Georg, thank you so much for being here. It's a big honor for us, and it's a bit of homecoming for you. You are an alumni from these institutions. It's a big privilege to have you here, and we would like to discuss a little bit about, how do you see the current environment influencing how private banks work, in particular Swiss private banks? We have, a lot of geopolitical disruptions. We have wars. We have the Middle East war. We have a Ukraine war. We have an energy crisis. Is that beneficial for Swiss banks? Is it not beneficial? How do you see that laying out for the Swiss banking system?
Well, thank you first for having me here, Claudia. It's always nice to come back to where I've been sitting in these chairs many years ago. Well, yeah, you're right. So one of the things today is that the visibility of what's going to happen has become very low. So there's a lot of confusion and, of course, a lot of volatility in whatever you do. And I think for the Swiss market, this is actually a positive thing, because I think some of the strength that we have, which are around stability of the currency, the economy, the government, the political landscape, become more important again. People thought it's similar in Dubai, as an example. Now we've learned it isn't. So I think if you look for diversification and safety, I think we have become a stronger contender again when we look at what is happening all out there in the world.
If we move to Vontobel, so let's say that the Swiss industry or private banking industry will be benefiting from this uncertainty and for the need for stability and predictability. How does Vontobel position itself versus the other private bank? What makes it distinctive? What makes it unique?
So Vontobel is what we say investment-led. So we basically focus on investing the institutional clients or private clients' asset. We're not a credit-led bank, because we don't believe that we want to take the risk and there's others doing it. So we're pure investment focus. And that's what differentiates us from many others.
Does the fact that it is family-owned or family-controlled also play a role on how you operate and how you act? And is it something that is of interest to your clients?
So the board of directors, where the family is represented, of course, defines the risk appetite, after which we execute the strategy, right? And that does matter. We focus on the private client side, which is the riskier side. We focus more on the Western developed world because, the reputational risks, the money laundering risk, and many of those risks are lower. It's a bit different on the institutional side. But yes, it matters a lot. And we have a conservative risk profile on all dimensions. And basically that is one of the reasons why the family still controls the institution, and one of the reasons why we haven't been hit by the many scandals that have hit Switzerland during the past years.
We've spoken a bit about technology, and AI is changing how you interact with your clients. Many of them are they used to Google, but they used to do search. Now they have a machine that does a lot of research for them. Actually, it provides very good advice. How does that impact your business?
Well, I think the requirements are increasing. Clients are much better prepared. They have much more information about what they want. And so do we need to have. But I think the AI and AI supported tools will also help to make our advisors more efficient, more prepared, make the advice more relevant for the client. Yeah, but you could say there's a little bit an arms race in terms of knowledge. We come much better prepared into a meeting, not just clients, everybody.
Okay, well, it makes for more productive discussions, I guess, as well. But it's more demanding, obviously, for you, and you have to upskill kind of your organization, or needs to go with the client in a sense.
Exactly, and you need to have tools that help people to upscale.
Let me ask you one question again about Vontobel. One of the characteristics of Vontobel that is a bit unseen in the private banking industry is that you have two CEOs, a little bit like a partnership of a consulting firm or of a law firm. You're operating with two CEOs. That's quite uncommon. What drove those choices for Vontobel, and what are the implications?
First of all, I really love to guide the bank together with my co-CEO. It was a conscious decision. I think it's around of combining skills. We have a different skill set. It's around creating more capacity for clients, for others, and it's about collaborative leadership. We want that our people collaborate, and we show it at the highest level. Of course, it needs coordination, it needs alignment, etc., etc. But it's also a bit of a luxury. CEOs usually don't have a sparring partner. We have one, so we go through this together. And for Vontobel, this was absolutely the right solution.
Let me shift a bit to the personal side. You have kids. What advice are you giving to them? I mean, we're in a very volatile, uncertain environment. They're probably asking themselves, what should I study? What type of job should I do? In which direction should I go? What advice do you give them in this context?
My kids are a bit younger, so they need to finish their breakfast and do their homework. But I think it's very important with what we see developing around us to keep them interested, to keep them hungry for new things. Our children, they will see more change during their lifetime than we have seen, because things develop much faster. In all dimensions, politics. I mean, politics, the last 5 years, I think we have seen more than the 10, 20 years before. Same goes in economy, in technology. Just in technology, what's happened the last 10 years. Unbelievable. And that is going to accelerate. So the only way for them to do well is to remain open and interested and embrace the things that come, and not trying to cling on to a world that may not be relevant anymore.
Georg, thank you so much for being with us. It was an amazing session. The students really liked it. I did like our conversation. I hope we see you again. This is an invitation to come back and meet our next cohort, meet our next class in a year, maybe down the road, depending on your agenda. But we would love to have you again with us.
Happy to come again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Georg.
Claudia.